Hey everybody, so how do we measure this thing called passive consumption versus meaningful interactions? And first of all, let's talk about the 1% rule. If you've never Googled the 1% rule, I highly recommend it. It goes back some time. Here it is on Wikipedia, but basically it says that take any group, take any online community, take any place where there's a lot of people interacting, that 1% of them will kind of manage that group, create the content, that 9% of them will interact with that content, but the vast majority, 90% of the participants of any online community, including Facebook as on total, do not really actively engage with the content itself. So take a look at the 1% rule when you get a chance. I found that I like this one here. The difference between good and bad Facebooking, which is done by Josh Constantine. But I like this one right here where it's saying social media is a clumsy term that entangles enriching social interaction with mindless media consumption. It's a double-edged sword whose sides aren't properly distinguished. Taken as a whole, we can decide if it brings the world closer together or not. But probably another great analogy that I love is thinking about your gaming experience, and rather you're playing that game in your own environment versus playing the game in a massive online arena where there's a lot of other players and that you really are a part of a team, you really are engaged with them. But how do we measure it specifically? This one real quick, just if you look at my video insights from January 1st to February 21st, you can see the primary measurement that they give you first is in minutes. So that's how many minutes are consumed, minutes viewed versus the video view count itself. So it's really measuring how many minutes did each one of these get counted by. Now, this would clearly pertain to mindless media consumption. So how do you tell between mindless media consumption and what Mark Zuckerberg has called that social interaction, that meaningful social interaction? Well, in the new world that we live in, ruled by artificial intelligence, that really comes down to comments. So the big new number that we look for. Now, if you'll notice on this particular video here of the 125,000 that this one particular video reached with 33,000 video views, notice these are called reactions, the love, haha, wow, sad, angry. Those are important. But really in this new world, it comes down to the comments. So it used to be shares. Shares were more important than anything else. That is no longer true. It's the comments. Especially if your content happens to have a comment with threading, meaning that somebody's replying to a particular comment and somebody's replying to that reply, that you're actually building real conversation. So think about your new content marketing strategy for Facebook, just for Facebook, not for Instagram, not for anywhere else, just for Facebook, Think of it as more as you are trying to build and participate in conversations. So think about it as you are trying to start conversations and participate in conversations. Matter of fact, most of you, the best content marketing strategy you can have right now is to not think about what am I going to post on my page, but to just go and use the search bar, find conversations that are already going on about topics that you are particularly interested in, and join those conversations. You'll notice a lot of the conversations on Facebook are now in groups. If you haven't paid attention to groups, you should, because you'll notice a lot of what you see is not necessarily. So here is my news feed. Okay, my news feed right now leads with Finnegan Bow. This is an event. Then I have an ad from Salesforce, which makes perfect sense. Paying attention. All of this makes sense to me. All of this makes sense to me. All of this makes sense to me. But this newsfeed is quite different than it was just back in early December, late November. Again, where I am going to either win or lose in 2018 is my level of participation in the comment area. Whether I'm starting or participating in conversation. Again, that is the key to think about your Facebook experience. Again, this always comes down to how much time you can allot to your Facebook experience. For everybody, that is different. As a rule of thumb, I say 20 minutes because as Americans, we average 23 minutes per day on Facebook. And in your 20 minutes, if you look for conversations to participate in versus worrying about where you're going to post on your page, you will do phenomenally better in 2018.